Government working with stakeholders to make healthy foods more affordable. Barbadians among the thousands who could get jobs in a futuristic Arabian city. Several positive telltale signs reported from government's recently rolled out fish management plan. And in sports, the Royals lose for the first time in this year's Women's CPL.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Making healthy food more affordable is one of the goals government is working with stakeholders to achieve. Minister of Energy and Business Senator Lisa Cummins gave the assurance at the start of a workshop on front of package label warnings. It was hosted by the Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. According to Minister Cummins, the coalition and researchers from the University of the West Indies recently looked at the tax structure for healthier foods versus unhealthy items. She says that study has been shared with the ministry.
We have to be able to make it affordable for people to eat healthy food, and that is also an important part of the conversation. It's fine to label it. It's fine to say it's high in salt. So things like ramen, for example, which are incredibly popular, they're very high in salt. They're inexpensive, easily accessible, but we have to also make things which are healthier just as accessible as we do things which are filling, but also going to result in costs a little later by way of the health system.
Senator Cummins also reiterated government's commitment to introducing front-of-package warning labels, which allow consumers to quickly identify when a product contains excessive amounts of critical nutrients like sugar and sodium. She's hoping that by year-end, a concise approach for the island can be developed. However, she's against the approach, which would involve placing stickers on goods.
The DCCA, Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, they are the designated authority in this instance as well. We have the team here in the person of the director and the deputy director. That team, equally so, would not have the capacity to be putting stickers on all of the imported products coming into the market. It's not a practical solution. So together with the BNSI and the DCCA, we have to be able to work together with you to implement solutions that work not just on paper, but in reality, so that we're moving more steadily and efficiently towards a common goal.
Barbadians will be among thousands who will get the opportunity soon to secure jobs in Saudi Arabia's futuristic city, NEOM. That city is a $500 billion mega project which was announced in 2017 by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as part of his Vision 2030 reform program to diversify the oil-heavy economy and also boost tourism. Founder and Chief Executive Officer of Trinity Recruitment Services, Judine Scanterbury, tells CBC News her company has been given the green light to source talent from Barbados and other regions for vacancies.
This marks a significant milestone for us as we position ourselves as a trusted and reliable source for sourcing candidates in various industries. The positions that we will be looking to source for this project, we'll be focusing on retail staff, finance, cabin crew, ground handling, food and beverage, healthcare, cargo, marine staff, corporate staffing for all departments, technical and IT, hotel, maintenance, customer service, and construction.
While recruitment will be conducted around the clock, Ms. Canterbury is advising potential candidates to ensure their documents are well formatted.
This partnership with Trinity Recruitment Services enables NEOM to tap into Trinity's extensive network and expertise in the Caribbean and South American regions. In order for us to facilitate their demands, we'll be working with recruiters, both local and international, in order to pre-screen and interview individuals on a 24-hour basis. Recruiters will be spending very limited time on resumes, so it's very important that individuals that are interested in this type of employment have well-structured resumes.
The Employment Rights Tribunal is in need of set rules, and their absence remains the one regret of former chairman, retired Justice Christopher Blackman. He was speaking this afternoon at a discussion organized by the Human Resource Management Association of Barbados at Tapas. It focused on the NUPW versus Rosalind Smith case, which the former chairman said throws up many lessons for HR practitioners. Wendy Burke tells us more.
The NUPW case is the longest heard by the ERT, going 7 days. And for the former chairman and retired justice, while the body is under-resourced, it delivers results.
The tribunal, much under-resourced, much understaffed, much under-remunerated, delivers. In fact, the tribunal has provided a stream of work for the Court of Appeal over the period 2018 to the present that is better than anything from the magistrates' courts and the other courts in Barbados.
His biggest regret was not seeing the draft rules done become permanent.
One of my regrets when I left the tribunal in March was that the rules that had been done in draft since the end of December 2021 have not been made. But one of the things the rules sought to do was to put down timelines for people to do things within a certain time after. In the case of Smith, her dismissal happened in April 2019. However, it was not until October 2020 that she filed her Claim 1 with a supporting witness statement.
For the legal profession, the case raised issues about the Labour Department's complaints process. Michael Koyman, an attorney with Denton's, believes if it were changed, the issue of timing would not impact cases.
I usually want to know when my client is essentially home free. When has enough time passed that I can know that the employee has made or has failed to make a complaint. And the fact is that there is no register available to the public for me to determine whether a complaint has been made. So that is one of many suggestions I would make for amendment to the legislation so that we could know reasonably without having to rely upon the word of I'm not casting aspersions on them, of course, the Labour Department.
Michelle Russell, an attorney who handles labour issues, believes the tribunal and its decisions have helped significantly in matters.
So the jurisprudence being developed was incredibly important to guide how we operate. And I personally have found that nowadays there are less mistakes being made, but the earlier decisions, when you're seeing all that took place up to the dismissal, is just filled with things that were wrong because we didn't have enough to guide us.
Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Several positive telltale signs are being reported from government's recently rolled out fish management plan across several coastal communities. Word of this from Minister of the Environment and Natural Beautification, Green and Blue Economy, Adrian Ford. He notes that the plan, which includes the installation and monitoring of over a dozen moored and anchored aggregating devices at various points in the ocean, is suggesting an increase in the coastal fish stock. He says government is now working to finalize a digital catch document scheme to determine the effectiveness of the devices. Minister Ford made the point today as he addressed the opening of the 19th session of the Western Central Atlantic Fishery Commission at UN House.
We spoke the last 18th session about the need to have an education plan so that the fisher folk and those in the industry would recognize that the size of catch will be detrimental to the whole sustainability of our ocean, and so that they will have an appreciation for the purposes of the devices. I might want to say that in Barbados, we were able to deploy 17 pads, which, based on all reports thus far, have been very successful in terms of allowing the industry to be sustainable and to bring rewards.
Minister Ford also called for industry stakeholders to introduce a better management plan to ensure the continuity and longevity of the fishing industry.
The fishing industry across the world is $1 billion industry. But it's not only for financial gain as far as I'm concerned. The industry must be one that is able to sustain an ecosystem. An ecosystem that can provide biodiversity for species realization. It must be able to support reefs and corals. It must be responsible for the destiny of the world.
The CBC NewsNight continues in just a moment. Government Senator Gregory Nichols wants the Democratic Labour Party leader to correct what he says is a misleading social media post about the salaries of MPs. In a statement, Senator Nichols explained Dr. Ronnie Yearwood put out a tweet making a comparison between what local MPs receive and their British counterparts. However, Senator Nichols notes the British leader receives a significantly higher sum than the Prime Minister of Barbados.
The fact of the matter is that from April 2023, the basic salary package for the UK's Prime Minister is inclusive of £80,807 for the role of Prime Minister, and in addition, £86,584 for his serving as an MP. This gives the British Prime Minister a total compensation package of about £167,391, or nearly $433,000 a year in Barbados currency before his allowances. Barbados Prime Minister's salary plus entertainment allowance is $281,866.37, a whopping $150,000 less than the UK Prime Minister's salary.
The police are seeking your assistance in locating a wanted man for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. He is 18-year-old Roshan Jair Kangal, whose last known address is McLean's Gap, Silver Sands, Christchurch. He's considered to be armed and dangerous, and you are advised to exercise caution. Kangal has a dark brown complexion and is slim. He has a scar in the middle of his forehead and a broken or chipped front tooth. He's advised that he can present himself to the Oistins police station accompanied by an attorney at law. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Roshan Kangal is asked to contact the nearest police station. You're also reminded that it is a serious offense to harbor or assist wanted people. Anyone caught committing this offense can be prosecuted. Meanwhile, the police are also asking for your assistance in locating a missing man from the Pine, St. Michael. They say 39-year-old Renison Graves of number 43 Martins Road was last seen by his girlfriend Jessie Taylor on September the 2nd. No photo was provided by the police, but he has been described as being about 6 feet 3 inches tall, with a medium build, large nose, thick lips, and an erect appearance. He was last seen wearing a baby blue 3/4 jeans and a pair of grey Timberland sneakers, but the color of his shirt is unknown. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Renison Graves is asked to contact the police.
Tonight's business report is sponsored by Digicel Business. Better solutions for better businesses.
In business tonight, the Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, has called on local businesses to commit to making healthier products. She was speaking during a workshop on front of package warning labels hosted by the Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. Senator Cummins believes it could be a potential niche area for local manufacturers.
I would love to be able to see our business community commit to the ideals being espoused by the people in this room about lowering the content of sugar, saturated fats, salt content in all of the items being produced in Barbados that then in turn can contribute to a healthier population.
Oyston's Bay Garden in Christchurch will be expanding shortly. That's the word from Acting Prime Minister Cynthia Bradshaw, who says extra kiosks will be constructed at the site. This comes on the heels of the settlement of the matter involving food vendor Monique Best and the National Conservation Commission.
We've identified with NCC some other locations here on this site that we would like to create additional kiosks. Last night, as I said, I spoke with the others, and we've looked at one of the locations in the area where we are actually standing now as one of the first locations that we will look at for permitting Mr. Kimar to be able to operate here, Mr. Harris. I think that is very big of him to be able to allow us to do so. We will offer the necessary support to both individuals to establish the business, and I think that this is a model that needs to be supported because we're not trying to take food out of anybody's mouth, but rather to empower ordinary Barbadians to be able to make a living for themselves and their families.
And that's our time tonight. Thank you for yours. I'm Pearson Bowen for the crew. To all of you, good night. By God's will, we'll see you tomorrow.